Hi and welcome. My name is Mike Warren. Welcome to a Zento sales snippet, and it's an exciting day. Today we're talking personal training at point of sale. How can we sell more personal training at point of sale? At the point when the prospect is just about to join and get started with us, how do we make sure they get started by taking out one of our personal training packages? It's a huge opportunity to get people started the right way, retain more members, give them more results, and make our club more successful. Here's the problem. The problem is there are two words that we tend to use in our sales process that can kill personal training sales. And those two words are personal trainer. If we ask Mrs. Smith too early in the sales process, Mrs. Smith, would you like a personal trainer? Are you interested in personal training? And Mrs. Smith's had a negative experience around personal training, or doesn't understand what a personal trainer is, or believes the media around personal training, we've lost Mrs. Smith. So the first thing we need to do is take those two words, personal trainer, and take them out of the sales process, put them right at the very end, until we've got Mrs. Smith really excited about the benefits of personal training, not the name personal trainer. Now we're going to use a process, because you've got to have a process, and we're going to use a really simple but absolutely effective process called SMEAR. S-M-E-A-R. 5 questions that you can either ask verbally as a chat, or you can actually have them as part of the documents that you use to understand Mrs. Smith's needs. You're going to ask the question, get the answer, tie the answer down for later, and then do the same thing with the other 4 questions. Right at the very end, if you've got 5 yeses, you're very likely to have someone who's interested in personal training. Here's the first one. The S is for support. The question is, Mrs. Smith, what level of support do you need to achieve your results? Minimal support, ongoing support, regular support. Very unlikely will Mrs. Smith choose minimal. It's usually ongoing or regular. The tie down is, that's great, Mrs. Smith. I'll show you some options that include some fantastic ongoing or regular support. Then let it go. Don't discuss anything else. Move on to the next question. Motivation. M for motivation. Mrs. Smith, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your level of exercise motivation? Mrs. Smith will put a 3 or 4 or 5. And we ask the question, what level of motivation would you need to achieve your results? 8, 9, 10? When we get to that number, Mrs. Smith, that's great, because we have some fantastic programs that will keep you motivated. Sounds good, doesn't it? Tick that one, park it for later. Support, motivation. The third one is education. Mrs. Smith, how would you rate your exercise and nutritional knowledge? Minimal, some, or comprehensive? Mrs. Smith's unlikely to put comprehensive, most of the time minimal or some. And the question is, wouldn't you like a program that gave you ongoing exercise and nutritional education? Oh yes. I'll give you some details later. We have some fantastic programs for you. We're starting to build the desire for personal training without mentioning personal training. Support, motivation, education. The A is for accountability. Mrs. Smith, has there been a time when you haven't achieved your results because you haven't been held accountable to getting there? 90% of the time, Mrs. Smith will say absolutely. Great news, Mrs. Smith. We have programs that will hold you accountable and almost guarantee your results. Sounds good, doesn't it? When Mrs. Smith says yes, that's just another agreement moving towards personal training. SMEA, last one is results. Simple question. Mrs. Smith, would you like to fast track your results? Fast track is that fancy word for get there quicker. Very few people say, no, I would like to take 12 months to get there if I can get there in 6 months. Mrs. Smith, would you like to fast track your results? She'll say yes. Great. We have some amazing programs that will fast track your results and you'll be succeeding in next to no time. Sounds good, doesn't it? SMEAR, SMEAR, those questions asked verbally or those questions included in your document are personal training triggers. Once the prospect or the new member, Mrs. Smith, has indicated a yes, 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 right at the very end, Mrs. Smith, you said that you wanted support, some motivation, some education, you wanted to be held accountable, and you really wanted some results and to fast track there. Let me show you the best program to give you all the things that you've indicated are important to you. That's our program that, lo and behold, includes personal training. That's the simple tool. Now here's the challenge. What we need to do, and on screen you'll see the questions are written up. You've got two choices. You can either learn the questions and say them verbally, or you can include them in your form. But I challenge you to ask those 5 questions during your next sales tool, your sales prospect, and see if you can get 5 yeses, and then see if you can take the next step and then include in your solution, in your presentation, some personal training. I can almost guarantee that you will double your personal training sales if you smear it. And then we smear them again in the induction, we smear them again on the gym floor, and we keep asking those questions. Good luck. I know it'll work. This has been a Zento Sales Snippet. I'm Mike Warren. See you next time. Take care.